Yo, what's up, family? Before we start the video, please leave a like, subscribe, and share to any and everyone that you can. Just so you know out there a little bit more. With that being said, let's get right into the video. All right, how y'all doing? I hope y'all are doing good. If you're new here, welcome. If you're not, make sure you take your shoes off before you come out. And the New York Knicks, man, as much as I despise it as a Celtics fan, I just can't decline just breaking down good offense. And ever since game 3 or game 4 of the Atlanta series, man, their offense has been absolutely rolling. And of course, it helps when you make the most threes in a playoff game in NBA history. But the player movement and the spacing, and they're doing the correct thing by having all of their actions, well, not all their actions, but majority of their actions being so far up the floor with a guy like Joel Embiid, who is obviously hobbled and stuff. But like, if you're on the court, you're free game, right? And they've done a phenomenal job of taking advantage of their centers and the player movement. Like, they just move so much. And of course, Karl-Anthony Towns right here, another 10 assist game for Karl-Anthony Towns. And there will be a lot of plays where Karl-Anthony Towns is just standing like in the pinch post, or where he's like above the 3-point line, and he's just surveying the entire time, and he's making the correct read. So here we got Jalen Brunson not really setting the screen. He's going to get to the top of the key. They're going to get it to Karl-Anthony Towns in the pinch post, and then it looks like they're going to go to zoom action. Zoom is an off-ball screen for somebody to go get a dribble handoff. So Mikal Bridges going to set this off-ball screen for Jalen Brunson so he can go get this handoff from Karl-Anthony Towns. But Karl-Anthony Towns has also done a phenomenal job at keeping these handoffs and passing it at the correct time. So if he sees that the defender is too close, he'll keep the handoff. This guy will curl him, as Jalen Brunson would do on this play. But of course, if he sees enough space, he'll hand it off. But you see how attached Kelly Oubre is to Jalen Brunson right now. Karl-Anthony Towns, that little nudge right there, gets Kelly Oubre off of Jalen Brunson. That allows Jalen Brunson to cut with some space right there, as you see. Now that makes Tyrese Maxey feel that he has to step over a little bit. Karl-Anthony Towns delivering the pass on target and on time. Deuce McBride hits a 3. I see the Knicks go to pistol 5. This was a Mike Brown special when he was in Sacramento, with the speed of De'Aaron Fox and the passing and screen ability of Domantas Sabonis. It's just a really quick action to take advantage, or just to insinuate your guys' offensive talents. But again, it has Karl-Anthony Towns. Like, Karl-Anthony Towns is the hub. He's the guy that they're playing through, and they've put the ball in his hands to make decisions for this offense. But again, look at how far out this action is. And pistol action is usually there's a guy right here, and then there will be a guard coming down the court. He'll either throw the ball up back here, but it's a lot of things that can happen with this action. So again, the ball goes to Karl-Anthony Towns, right? And he has to make a decision. If this defender is really attached to Jalen Brunson, they'll just go to pistol keep, and he'll end up driving, or he'll get into some action on the other side. But he sees that Jalen Brunson has space, so he gives it back to Jalen Brunson. But again, make Joel Embiid move. Like, there's a lot of times in this game where he's just electing to preserve himself when it comes to movement on the defensive side of the ball. And if you're persistent enough in your offense, you will get a good shot against Joel Embiid, especially a hobble version of him. So he gets the ball back. Jalen Brunson drives. You take those 2 steps that Embiid takes towards Jalen Brunson is enough space for a shooter like Karl-Anthony Towns. All right, so here the Knicks have Karl-Anthony Towns trading this play, and look at where he gets the ball at. He starts with the ball at the logo, so of course that means Joel Embiid has to be above the 3-point line. Look at all this space they have right here. This is premium 5-out basketball right here by the Knicks. And again, like, player movement and the offense being so up the floor, like, just making Joel Embiid and the opposing center be up the floor and have them move. We got the inverted pick and roll here, the screen by Miles McBride. Karl-Anthony Towns gets Tyrese Maxey on him. And then it's just very simple basketball after that. Karl-Anthony Towns has to be aggressive. He has to take Tyrese Maxey. But this cut by Josh Hart here, he cuts wide open. He's a very good, timely cutter. And he doesn't get the ball in this play. Karl-Anthony Towns ends up scoring, but that is going to be something that we see later. All right, so we got the Knicks going double big, which forces a small into Karl-Anthony Towns. We have Mitch Robinson down there on the block right there. And then we're going to have a little cat and mouse game with the Knicks, Miles McBride and Jalen Brunson getting Tyrese Maxey into the pick and roll. Deuce McBride, again, we just saw in the last play, inverted pick and roll for him. That's going to force Tyrese Maxey to switch on to him. And then you see we got Jalen Brunson in the corner. Feature Esco is not going to come off him. We got Mikal Bridges above the hash mark. We got Miles McBride, who just set the screen above the 3-point line. So now Karl-Anthony Towns can just get right past Tyrese Maxey, lays it off with the left hand to Mitch Robinson. All right, so to start the second quarter, the Knicks ran their first couple of plays through Karl-Anthony Towns in the post, which is called punch action. So punch action is action funneled through the post. So you see Karl-Anthony Towns gets the ball, and we have a lot of off-ball cutting and off-ball stuff happening after that. So here, the Knicks are going to go to punch, pop, Bilboa. Bilboa is a post action. There's a couple different names for it. There's gaggle, there's split action, which you see a lot from the Golden State Warriors. But what it is usually you'll have, it's basically similar to stagger screens, but they're horizontal, right? So stagger screens are two of the same off-ball screens with just a little bit of space in between them. What you'll usually see from stagger screens is that they will be like right here. So it'll be somebody in the corner and they'll be like this. But with the Bilboa action, they're just more horizontal, kind of like when somebody Iverson cuts, right? But the purpose of this is when this guy comes off the first screen, he twirls it, and this guy comes off. There's just a lot of different stuff you can do with this. But the Knicks, they don't even have to go to this, because when Hammond sets this screen for Clarkson to clear out, he ends up getting wide open. Well, not wide open, but he ends up getting open on the cut, and Carvin-Towns hits him. And something else I noticed in this game is just how fast the Knicks were getting the ball off the floor. Getting 20 seconds, and Alvarado is already at the block right here. So he retreats. We're going to have empty corner pick and roll right here between Alvarado and Carvin-Towns. I love the patience of Alvarado here. There's so many illegal screens that are on the handler because they don't actually wait for the screen to get set right there. He makes sure Carvin-Towns is set. Pocket pass right there. And you remember that cut that I was talking about from Josh Hart right here. As Carvin-Towns gets the ball right there after the pocket pass, he's going to drive, and that is going to draw Joel Embiid off of Josh Hart in the corner. Josh Hart, very well-timed cut. As soon as Embiid moves, he moves with the play. Carvin-Towns hits him for another assist. And man, listen, bro, I don't know what the hell Cat going on. I knew Cat was one of the best passers as a big, but like he got some different shit going on. He think he Magic Johnson. And again, just taking advantage of wherever Joel Embiid is at on the floor. This is a slide play. This is an out of bounds play. Alvarado just passed the ball to Carvin-Towns. He taps it back to Alvarado, and Embiid being down here is forcing Quentin Grimes to play 2-on-1 right here, just unnecessarily, right? He's just sitting back, watching this patty cake happen, and he doesn't step up, and then he's blaming Quentin Grimes for that. Like, I'm sure they will want to protect Joel Embiid and not have him on the perimeter as much, but like something has to happen here. All right, so here's some more good offense by the Knicks. We got an attempt at a screen by Deuce McBride. Mikal Bridges is going to reject that. Miles McBride is going to space out. Then Carvin-Towns is going to get the ball in the center. There's a lot of stuff happening with him as a delay big when he's getting the ball centered in the middle of the floor right there, and then there's going to be actions on both sides. But this time we just have Jalen Brunson and Mikal Bridges. They're going to exchange right here, and as Cat looks to drive, this exchange takes the help of VJ Escom away. So if Jalen Brunson was just stand right here and Carvin-Towns was to drive, VJ Escom will obviously be able to be right there. But this exchange by Jalen Brunson backs VJ Escom out, and his head is turned away from Carvin-Towns as he's driving. Right now, Jalen Brunson going to the corner. That also, as Carvin-Towns is driving, that draws Kelly Oubre's attention. Carvin-Towns sprays it out to him. Jalen Brunson hits a 3. And again, look at how fast they're getting up the court. Ball crosses half court with 22 seconds left, right? They're driving up multiple drives, goes at Drummond, touches the paint, handoff. And again, Drummond just taking advantage of the center, making the center move as much as possible. Josh Hart gets open for the 3, and he knocks it down. And again, it's just a lot of going at Joel Embiid. Screen and rolls being run super high, actions being run super high, so he has to guard and come out above the three-point line and then move his feet around the floor. Here they're going to start in stack out entry. It's not the cleanest right here. The Knicks run some horns out, some stack out, but it's just a type of entry, a type of start to a play. So there's usually going to be the big man. He's usually going to be on top of, well, he's going to literally be stacked on top of somebody right here, and he's going to set this screen so this guy can outcut to either wing. If you want to get into your actions quicker, you obviously don't have to set it up that way all the time. So Mikal Bridges just goes next to Mitchell Robinson. Then he's going to outcut to that wing. And then again, we just have this pick and roll right here with Mitchell Robinson, Mikal Bridges. Mitchell Robinson is a good screener. He is a big body, right? So you take Tyrese Maxey completely out of that play. You have Mikal Bridges going downhill against Joel Embiid, and he scores. And this is how you know a team is playing like in sync with chemistry, and they're playing so together. They play great defense here, and Jalen Brunson has a wide open shot with absolutely nobody closing out to him, but he's gonna let Deuce McBride, who had the hot hand, take that 3, and he knocks it down. And again, just so much player movement by the New York Knicks in this game, just constantly making the 76ers defense work, as we see Mike Brown directing traffic and almost everybody on the court telling the youngster Huck Porty where to be. It's all good, he'll learn. So we got the angle empty corner pick and roll right here between Deuce and Josh Hart to get Tyrese Maxey as the on-ball defender. Then on this other side, we got the stagger screens that I talked about. 2 of the same off-ball screens with just a little bit of space in between them. So we got Mikal Bridges as the first screen, Huck Porty as the second one. The Knicks are going to go to stagger twirl here. The twirl is this guy's going to twirl the first screen, that he's going to become the first screener, and then this guy's going to go out to the top of the key. So we got that. Jalen Brunson becomes the first screen, second screen by Huck Porty. Mikal Bridges is going to go out. It looks like the Knicks are going to try to initiate some get action here. Get action is when somebody passes the ball to immediately go get the ball back for a dribble handoff. So it looks like they're going to do that right there, but Hug Porty ends up keeping it, right? So then we get into a pick and roll between him and Mikal Bridges. He gets the ball. Hug Porty gets out of that quickly, and we got the shake action on the pick and roll. So shake action in a pick and roll is when there's a roller and the guy in the corner, they lift up simultaneously. So when the roll and the lift from the corner is happening at the same time, this puts this tagger, this low man right here, in such a tough position because his job is to make sure that this roll does not happen easily. So he's coming right here to stop this guy from getting an easy roll to the basket. But with this shake, he obviously is guarding Josh Hart, but what the shake action does, it creates a longer closeout. So if Josh Hart was to just stay right here and Paul George takes a couple steps in, there is a chance that Paul George can come back and contest on that shot. But with Josh Hart lifting up all the way, you see how much longer of a closeout that is from just him doing this. Now he has to go all the way out to contest this shot. Good pass by Mikal Bridges. Good shot by Josh Hart. All right, so here to start the second half, the Knicks get an easy layup. I know this was so demoralizing for the 76ers, but again, look at how far everything is, man. We got Karl-Anthony Towns damn near at the hash mark. Mikal Bridges comes out to the hash mark before Karl-Anthony Towns gets the pass. And then, again, look at the paint. Nobody's in the paint. Joel Embiid is the worst box I've ever drawn in my life. But then you got Joel Embiid. That's fine. But then we got Joel Embiid again, feet above the three-point line. We got this rip screen here, this off-ball screen by Jalen Brunson. Of course, VJ Edgecombe is going to be attached to Jalen Brunson because it's Jalen Brunson. So if he sets a good screen right there and just hits Kelly Oubre in the slightest way, Mikal Bridges is going to get wide open. Karl-Anthony Towns another assist for the layup. All right, so here just some more good offense by the Knicks, but the spacing is just incredible. So we have one handoff. Wait, is that weave? Yeah, we're going to have one handoff right here between Deuce and Josh Hart. Josh Hart's going to hand the ball off. It looks like this pass to Karl-Anthony Towns, it looks like they could have initiated some blind pig. Blind pig is a dribble handoff under a denying or high playing defender. So Deuce could have came off for this handoff, but this is Karl-Anthony Towns, and Karl-Anthony Towns can create for himself. But again, look at this pacing right here. All 5 Knicks above the three-point line. The paint is completely sweet, and you have Karl-Anthony Towns again going at Joel Embiid, driving past him, making a move, and he gets the bucket. And again, making the most threes in the damn playoff game absolutely helps you, but the intentionality with their spacing and just how far they were running their actions, going at Joel Embiid, in all these plays, he was probably in the paint one time, and that was when Mitchell Robinson was in the paint too. But with them doing this pick and roll so high up, and he's just able to walk into a three. And yeah, man, you obviously got some great offensive sequences with some shot making from great guys, and man, Jalen Brunson this is probably one of the best offensive sequences you're gonna see in the playoffs. They forced a really early switch in the backcourt here when it looks like Josh Hart was about to get the ball, and then they make Dominic Barlow switch on to Jalen Brunson. And we're just gonna have a simple pick and roll again. Look how high up this action is happening. You got the 276ers big men right here, about to be above the three-point line, and Jalen Brunson just chicken wraps Dominic Barlow. And the reverse against Joel Embiid. Joel Embiid is going to compile that with a turnover, Deuce McBride, good play, and Jalen Brunson going to hit the corner three. And things just happen when you move well offensively. It looks like we got a pass here, and Dominic, this is like the easiest switch of all time. It's guard to guard. Of course, Mikal Bridges is taller than Tyrese Maxey, but there's 5 seconds on the clock in there at the logo. It looks like Barlow is pushing Mikal Bridges towards Tyrese Maxey so he can switch, and they just don't end up doing that, and Deuce McBride hits another three. All right, so they're going to have Karl-Anthony Towns pop to the center. After the screen, he's going to pop, bang right there, pop to the center. And then we're going to have Deuce McBride. He's going to reject that. He's going to go through. But again, there are so many times where Karl-Anthony Towns just like holding the ball for 4 or 5 seconds in a spot and just letting the offense flow around him, right? And he's going to make the right decision. At some point, the opposing big is going to start seeing all those cuts and all those lanes. And with Karl-Anthony Towns with this dribble picked up, Drummond just absolutely leads him for a pass lane, and he just shoots the ball. But that is a video. If you enjoyed it, please leave a like, subscribe, and share to any and everyone that you can. Just so you know out there a little bit more. Now we'll see you guys in this video. This is Nick. Peace.